about snapback, talkback. We're not talking about those. We're talking about the main three. And it's just subtle messages. They're being mapped out as we go along. Put Ms. Jackson's face before them and make them understand that there is a person that you can contact if you need housing, assistance with a job, assistance with ID. We found that most of the kids in the neighborhood are saying that they're willing to go get a job if they have that identification. Can't get identification because some of them are joints. They might have a minor warrant. There's a bunch of little small things that just cause the machine. That's the thing that we're working on right now. And you're right about that. We need a bigger budget in order to reach those mediums a little bit easier. You understand what I'm saying, Brian?
Either our borough president, yes, or either our borough president give us a building so that we can go in and do what we have to do with this building to bring the children in. I mean, if we can get a nice building and have it multicultural and that all types of kids can come in, you know, from all four corners of our community. Everybody gets to meet everybody. I think the gang problem will stop too, because then everybody is now socializing. It has to be a beginning.
I definitely wanted to add to a little bit of what Joshua was saying, because he made up a very, very interesting point. And this is just my personal opinion, because I grew up in the projects. I grew up in Brooklyn, East New York. And I've seen a lot of stuff happen. I've seen friends get shot and killed. I've seen, some levels of police brutality. And, my belief is, I don't think that we should put everybody into one broad box, if that makes sense. You have corruption on both sides. You have corruption within the police force. You have corruption among black community leaders. There are people who make a profit off of it, off of polarization. I think, in my opinion, one of the biggest issues that we also have to focus on, and this actually leads up to my next question. You mentioned your son, and you seem like a relatively great mom, because I know you're a great person, but in a lot of poor neighborhoods, you have these kids being raised in these single-family homes. They don't have a father figure, and without a father figure, you're not going to have much respect for authority. So when you're being bombarded with all this propaganda talking about how the police, they're racist pigs, and you finally come across a police officer, your first instinct is, well, this guy don't care about me, so I'm just gonna pop off. And then that's how things go down. That's how riots start. So I think that the root of the problem also lies within our families. And my question is, how exactly do we address that? Like, how do we actually give parents the tools to really, teach their kids, to have more respect for authority?
Let me put it like this. Most of the women that have children and they seem to be raising them, these kids don't act like that when they come visit them. They don't dare to even think about that. We do the best that we can do, not that we can teach everything about how to become a man, but a man to treat a woman and any respect is there. We take them to churches, we take them to Boy Scouts, we take them to Girl Scouts, and after that, whatever time we have with them, we sit at the table at night, and we all have dinner together. We speak, the majority of the parents that I know is like me, we speak about each other's day. And at nighttime, everybody's in the bed with the hugs and the kisses and the love. And in the morning we do the same thing. But at the same time, most of the kids have chores when they come home. Have chores to do when they come home. Whether they do them or not, okay. But then we do have that family structure that just don't give a beat. But the majority of the women in my community, I must say, those kids will not act like that if their mama's standing there, or if they see their mama coming down the block. I could walk out of my building and say they may be doing a dice game, and one of the spots, you should see how they straight on. They go, Miss Jackson, where? And they just start putting things away. Sometimes I let it go, and sometimes I open my hand out, and they put it in there. I ain't even got to say much. But still, the look has an effect.
Berneda,
Yes.
but I think to Brandon's point, this is my view, personal view. The breakdown of the family, it's been bombarded, frankly, from Hollywood, the media, newspapers, to everyday life. And truthfully, listen, my father left home when I was a kid, but we still had family structure, we were disciplined, and it is much easier to raise a family, in my view, to raise a family with two parents. Because what mother would not want to have a second hand, or what father would not want to have a hand in another parent? So listen, many hands make light work.
Yes.
Always. And we somehow have to, it's a long road, it's going to be a marathon, not a sprint. But to educate families and young people that, you know what, having a fitness, if you really try hard, you can make it on your own, but why make it harder on yourself if you don't need to?
Amen.
And you know what? And there's something to be nice about it. You're talking about the church and the family, the community centers. And I see a lot of parents, obviously, because we're involved in these programs. And it is always, at the end of the day, the majority of the burden is going to fall back on the parent. And when somebody does something wrong, where's your mother? Where's your father? Right or wrong?
Yes, I agree.
And that's the challenge, really, the long-term challenge that I see. That's going to be, because teaching, you say, oh, kids don't have respect. You don't learn most of that at home. You learn, listen, my wife's an educator. You do as much as you can at school. But at the end of the day, you got to go home at night. There's something to be said about it, right? And, like my mother used to have a saying, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you're going to be.
Okay.
Right? I'll tell you who you are. It's a very long haul. I have children of my own, right? Yes, you're a good wife. We have to somehow get back on path where I know it's hard. I know it's hard work. And you can talk all you want, but eventually if we see that there's benefits to it, and it's easier, and frankly, you're trying to do the right thing. And not everybody, and it's not, can't everybody with the same brush.
No.
That's the real challenge in my mind, is somehow teaching them family structure is just easier to raise children in a household. And just
With two parents, I agree.
not listen, I told you, my father left home when I was a kid.
I agree. But in my neighborhood, it's more women. There's more women working. The men are not.
And that also talks to
Yes.
the economy's terrible.
Our structure doesn't stop with the women because we learn. This is our young man. It's either two ways it's going to go. Either they're going to be on the right and positive, or they're going to be in jail or back to God. So our focus into building them with that respect, that caring about another individual human being, because that's where it lies at. And if a child that sees so much going on in the household turns out to strike at the neighborhood, now we got to catch that child. We got to catch that child. It's not so to say that we being adults, we can't see where a child is going down the wrong path. We see this child every day, and every day something is going on with this child. It's time to open our arms out and say, come here, baby. Let me give you this hug. Because that child really needs it more than the child that goes to school with. The child that does the right thing. Those are the children. And we can't forget them neither that's doing right. We got to bring them in and integrate with the ones that off the hook, as so to speak. And let this family start to build and honestly come together. That's the only way that I see. They have to see goodness and stop focusing on the badness.
Any other questions?
If I could just piggyback on that, I agree with that. My wife, Ted's like, starting to realize all these parallels behind it. My wife is a teacher also, she's in the city schools. And what she always says when she has somebody, a student in her class that's straying or obviously in need of some help or really in danger of falling off the radar, she said you got to catch them being good. Find them being good. This kid spends his whole day making mistakes and doing bad things. Find that one thing when he did something right, when he was nice to somebody, and shower the praise on him. But I think overall, like like you said, the police have to be the adults and take the ownership and the
Yes.
responsibility and stewardship. We all do, not just the police.
That's
It's so important to get all of the adults to take a stewardship of their neighborhood and say, this is my neighborhood. And just because this kid doesn't have a father in the picture, I can be that father in the picture when necessary. And you know, now that you're going into politics, I want you to be careful because you know you're going to win and you're going to advance. But here is what politicians do: is they say, "You need a community center. Here's your $1 million check." Now there's a building there with not one adult, with nobody volunteering, with brand new basketballs and brand new equipment and brand new everything, and nobody will watch it.
Let me give you the icing on the cake. I have chaplains and I have police officers, and why he don't come in?
We used to. When I worked in Brownsville, we used to finish our shift at 11:30. We would go and play basketball on the Betsy Head.
And service these children.
Absolutely. We were happy to do it.
Now, we have it on both sides. Our building will have the supervision if they give it to us. I tell you, how many chaplains are there? 5? Yeah. She's a chaplain also.
Wow.
It's 500 of us.
That's magnificent. Wow. Could I say one other thing about the chaplain system? When I was a cop, I've been retired for a long time, so I'm not going to work exactly up to the minute. But misinformation was death. If something happened and there was a rumor, that rumor spread, and then you had 500 people out in the street breaking things and burning things, all over a mistake or a misunderstanding or something they didn't even realize. One in particular, there was a man that was robbing people all up and down Pickett Avenue. And the detectives finally caught up with him and arrested him. And a rumor got out that they had beaten him or something, and it wasn't even true. They just took him from 10 Amboy Street right over to the station house. And it started an enormous riot. And none of it was true. It was a complete misunderstanding. But the way we used to try to head that off is we would have a kind of a Rolodex of community chaplains that we would stay in contact with all the time, even when nothing was going wrong. But it was those people that we were friendly with, that understood what our mission and shared in our mission, that we would contact and say, listen, we have to get the true story out there. Could you help us? Is that something that still happens? Because I know it did. It was very effective.
I would say yes. I would say yes. I mean, stories can be twisted.
Right.
Because there's ill people trying to make it seem worse.
Sure.
Oh, see, but we have to start to weigh things. And I know everybody watches Judge Judy. And if it doesn't sound right, it ain't true. And that's my focus. If it don't sound right, it ain't true. And I will stand out there I'm full out preaching. Get off of it. It's not true.
Sure.
If you need any more, come on, police officer, you stand on this side, and the one that said this bullcrap, you stand on this side. I'll be the mediator or either the punching bag, but the truth will come out.
That was very effective, and I hope that they still do it. And if they don't, maybe there's something you can do about reinstating them.
What we need is the power of the people. One thing I love about the Republicans is that we are for the people. We elected by the people, and we do just that for the people. And once everybody realizes that, we're going to go places. It ain't going to be no stopping us. It can't be. I mean, I can go now to my assembly person in my area and can't get in. If you don't have an appointment, or if you ring a bell, you can't get in. And if you have an appointment, you're not there anyway. It's like, they only in Albany 6 months, okay? The rest of the time, why are you not embracing us, the people that elected you there? What is wrong with this picture that y'all are constantly hiding?
That's what I said earlier, right?
Yes.
Thank you for granted. They want your vote.
Nothing we can get out of them. And don't let me say out of my mouth, which most of my community do know, that I'm a Republican and they hear my name automatically.
You need to give your community a choice.
Yes. But I mean, as far as the community will follow me, but what can we get with the people that's the officials that's not going to listen to us? They closing their doors. Berneda Jackson? Oh, hell no. Lock it, pull the shades down.
They're afraid of you.
And it doesn't make sense, but you're supposed to be there to serve us. Regardless to what side I'm on, I'm a person that's looking for help, and you're in the position to give me that help. What's the problem? That's what I need to know. If I was in that shoe, and anybody comes to my door is wide open. Coffee, tea, and a conversation. Let's see where we can go with this. Why can't I get that from the other side? But these are the same preschool that says, I'm out to do this, I'm going to do that. And once they elected,
Lip service.
they become some magical floating star. Catch me if you can. And then we get all the going out, and they will give us parties. They have us singers. What happened to touring? What happened to the arts for the children? Do they need to be standing outside? Looking at Biggie Small, Lord. What's that guy? Humidity. No, the other one. No. Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh. I mean, the community was out there large. I'm coming home from work. And I'm saying, ain't a book drive out here? And there's no health thing out here? There's no place where these kids can go to enhance their skills? But we out there. No, that's not what we need.
How much would it cost? How much would it cost to teach 20 18-year-olds to write a resume? I'll do it for free.
I do it too. And they can use my own computer. I gotta pay Con Edison anyway. That's it.
You know, switching up a little bit. I know that you've been like really focused on the housing epidemic and the high prices of rent. And I don't know about you, but I pay out of my butt when it comes down to my rent. And that's just for one of my apartments in Brooklyn. So what would you do in order to address that? Because you've made that like a really big part of your platform.
Yes. The thing is that I've been in my apartment for 43 years, since 1970. The gender pay doesn't bother me. Yes, the landlords, I know it costs to run the buildings, okay? But when you go out to buy a building and you do your research of what's coming out that building, then that building is not for you. You need to find another building, not discard the people that's in there. Because I'm going to fight with my landlord now to keep my apartment. And just because my rent for 43 years, so it's little or nothing. But if you did your research, most of the people in the building took that $5,000 and now they're in shelters. So he wants to know from me, what the hell is wrong with me? We need to stop. I see that the housing courts and the legislature is seeing that it's a bunch of bullcrap about this housing situation. And they stop them at 7.5% if you was rent stabilized. But they couldn't stop us from doing all of their shenanigans and trying to get people out. I mean, my landlord went as far as in court and said that I was a drug user and all the needles and stuff was up under my window. Yeah, bags of needles up under my window, but no police report.
Right.
No pictures of all these bags.
Right.
But yet, the court, the judge says, I'll give you another chance to bring back your evidence. Now I've been in this court now 2 years with my name on open name.